Welcome to the Properties to Profit podcast. I'm Michael, your host. Excited to share with you my journey from a six-figure job to building a successful real estate business. Each episode will explore various aspects of real estate investing, from wholesaling and flipping to managing rentals. I'll share the lessons and insights I've gained, aiming to help you avoid mistakes and achieve your financial goals. Expect guest experts, valuable tips, and practical advice to guide you on your own real estate journey. Thank you for tuning in. If you find any value in this podcast, please subscribe, share, and follow me on social media. Let's turn properties into profits together.
Hey, what's up, guys? Michael here with Properties to Profits. And today we're continuing on with the lessons with positive intelligence. I think this book is a must read for anyone who wants to grow and control their emotions, from athletes to business people, salespeople, parents, siblings, anyone who just wants to be a better human and understand their emotions and feelings. And so today, we're going to talk about saboteur number one. These are actually going to be in order of my worst saboteurs. And so the first one's taming the controller, right? And it's learning to lead without the leash of control, right? So a lot of us who have this issue of wanting to be a controller, we're operating out of anxiety. We believe we must take charge. We believe when we take charge, we can control the chaos. And that creates tension, burnout, and broken trust in teams, right? In relationships and everywhere as well. I've achieved a lot of short-term wins and small wins, like growing a business to 1 million when it's just me and one other person is super easy for me. I've done it 4 times now, actually. But getting past that 1 million mark and 3 million, I've always gotten stuck around the 3 million, and it's because of my saboteur, the controller. So I'm really working on that one, because the controller erodes long-term influence and connection with people, because they always feel like that they can't make decisions and that they have to rely on you. By recognizing the shift and understanding your controller saboteur, leaders we can take control and we can empower, build trust, collaborate, and sustain performance. You become a leader at that point when people want to follow and not fear, because no one likes to work with someone that you fear. And unfortunately, I have led that way too many times. So let's look at how positive intelligence teaches us to take the saboteur and shift to sage, right? So controllers, they operate from fear, scarcity, and ego. For me, a lot of times it's fear and scarcity, and that goes back way back, well before I ever started businesses, and we'll talk about that. Whereas the sage operates from empathy, curiosity, and purpose. The goal is not to destroy the controller, but to shift its energy towards positive leadership tactics. Having a controller mindset is really great. It's just you need to shift it towards clarity, drive, and decisiveness. And you do that with empathy and trust. Um, and so how do we take action to tame it? Well, for me, it's first noticing that, why am I looking to take control of this situation? It just happened recently, and it's because I feel like I'm better at it, right? And it may or may not be true. Nonetheless, it doesn't help when you just take control. And so you got to label it. So I've learned to recognize that, hey, this is the controller taking over right now. How can I take a step back, let this situation play out, and give them a win? And so the first thing I've learned to do is just breath work. I follow this military-based work that I think I learned. I think David Goggins talks about it. I'm not sure, but it's 4 second in, hold for 4 seconds, 4 second out, hold for 4 second, and you repeat that until you start to control yourself. And then you can have a positive outcome from there for it. The book Positive Intelligence talks about just rubbing your feelings together and just tune into those senses. That activates your sage brain. And then when you can get your sage brain activated, then you can ask a question like, how can I get them to do it my way? You flip that around from, what would this opportunity look like? How can I empower them to grow and not overpower them? So it's like you flip away from, how can I get them to do it my way, to what is the opportunity for them to grow here, and how can I empower them and not overpower them? See how that's a big change there, and how it gets your salespeople thinking, or your kids thinking, your spouse thinking, whatever it is. Controllers show up in all areas of our life. So I have tons of stories I could share where I've been a controller. Like I said, I rated very high on this. And And so I've always been a micromanager, walking people through what to say, all of these things, and controlling a lot of almost every step they take in a sales process. And what I've realized is when I back off and trust them to figure out and just tell people I believe in their abilities to close deals and do what's right and just give them the expectations of what has to happen, they start to make those changes. And I just need to be reminded of this. And so one reason I'll share with you guys a podcast is when it's to teach me lessons. If someone else gets this lesson, that's great. But for me, I realize that when I talk about these things, I've had success when I do these things, but I still fall out of them, right? I get weak-minded, I forget things, and I don't always do what I'm supposed to. Well, when I gave this person this power to make the decisions themselves, well, what do you know? They had a rough week. In the second week, they bounced back. And third week, they were back to being on fire. And it just taught me a powerful lesson. It happened with the person who does my hiring. It's happened with my person who runs my company. I've just got to trusting in them, allowing them to make the decisions. They're going to fail, and that's okay. We'll build it up. They just need to know the KPIs and what are we going to do to hit those KPIs. Remember, when you can let go, that moment taught me that's the catalyst to allow them to step up. And if they don't step up, that's okay too, because you realize you have the wrong person and it's time to let them go. In business, that can be tough though. When you can operate in the sage and not let your controller, in a team environment, people are going to feel safer, more engaged, and they're going to take more initiative, less daily anxiety, more clarity, and more creativity. And the decision's going to come from rooted in their purpose and not in panic. You become a leader they trust and they can grow underneath you, not the one they fear resist. Remember, controllers don't scale. Like I said, controlling helped me when it was just me or super small. I've grown 4 businesses now to 1 million plus, pretty much with myself and one other person, maybe 2. And it's because I can take control of situations. I can figure things out, but that doesn't help others. You need to let them fail forward. You have to ask great questions that get them to open up their brains. Because I really encourage you guys to read this book. Positive Intelligence really tells us that reducing saboteur influences increase employer performance, happiness, and resilience. And remember, leadership is built on that sage, and it's more sustainable when teams can make their own decisions and don't have to rely on you. And let's talk about the lessons here. Controllers often a response to unheard fear of past chaos. And for me, that's super hard for me, right? I grew up in situations where there was always chaos. Um, I, I saw it 2 different ways, right? I saw when I was at my mom's house, things weren't always prepared. Things were going haywire. And then my grandparents' house was a little bit more controlled. And then they were around people who had controlled. They lived in a neighborhood where I got to hang out with families who had very stable lives, and I got to see that. But I stuck to the chaos, right? That's what I thrived in and did well. And I've had to learn to change that as an adult. And so some things I've been doing over the last few weeks is 10 minutes of PQ reps. That's just taking a walk and just seeing the textures on the concrete, the grass, the buildings, whatever it is, focusing on your senses, feeling the bead of sweat. It's 90 degrees outside. We can go to a walk in the middle of the day here. All of those things. It's just feeling your hands, rubbing them together, counting each one, feeling the textures on your hand, taking your shoes off and just moving each and one of your toes around. All of those things help out. And then on a daily reflection, just, hey, when did my controller showed up? How did I handle it today? What am I going to do going forward? And then also reflecting on a weekly basis with that. You do all of these things, you're going to become a better leader. You'll see it show up as a better partner, as a better parent, as a better sibling, and then will show up everywhere in your life and allow you to become the best version of yourself, whatever that is. So I encourage you guys to really focus on your saboteurs and figure out what's holding you back in life and from getting the next level that you want to achieve. If you guys found any value, shoot me an Instagram message and then follow me on Instagram, realestatemic02. Thanks.
Thank you for listening to the Properties for Profit podcast. I hope you found today's episode valuable. If you enjoy the show, please subscribe and share it with others who might benefit. Follow me on social media for more updates and tips. Until next time, keep turning properties into profits.